Good. Good evening, and welcome to our monthly board meeting. I'm Bob Casillo. I've got the pleasure and the privilege of having been elected on December 3rd as president, so I'll be presiding over the next 11 or so board meetings. Again, I want to publicly thank Mr. Harkins. John, you did a terrific job. You left some large shoes to fill, and I hope to be able to continue. So let's proceed with the meeting. Well, we'd like to have a reading of the meeting notice, please, by the secretary.
The Board of Directors of the School District of the City of Erie, Pennsylvania, and the Board of Directors of the City of Erie Regional Career and Technical School will meet in regular session on Wednesday, December 10th, 2014, in the auditorium at East High School, 1001 Atkins Street, at 6 o'clock p.m. by request of the President, Robert C. Casillo.
That's S. Casillo.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I think I'm used to saying John C.
Oh, you know. I'd like to have a roll call, please.
Yes, here,
Mr.
whatever.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Present. Here.
Mr. Harkins?
Here.
Mrs. McNair?
Here.
Mr. Petrunger?
Here.
Mrs. Shenley?
Here.
Mr. Spagel?
Here.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Here.
Mr. Casillo?
Here. We'd like to have a Pledge of Allegiance led by Joshua Carnes, fifth grade student from Grover Cleveland Elementary, introduced by Mrs. Michelle Fiorelli, principal, followed by a moment of silence for Mr. Timothy Holland, retired guidance counselor who passed away on November 19th, 2014, and Virsel Kimmy Jr., a retired teacher who passed away on November 8th. Ms. Fiorelli.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Badams, and audience guests. I would like to introduce to you our pledge leader, Joshua Carnes. Joshua is a fifth grade student at Grover Cleveland, and he is the son of Monica and James Carnes. Joshua is an honor student and an award-winning gymnast at the national level. He has trained and competed at the National Olympic Training Center. We'd like to share a short clip of Joshua's recent competition from Colorado. Thank you. We're glad to share Joshua's talent with you. We're very proud of his accomplishments. He aspires to be an Olympian in the near future, and I think you can all see we believe he will achieve his goal. Joshua, would you please lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance at this time?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Absolutely.
Share with me.
Absolutely.
All the different types of things he could do.
Job well done, Joshua. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Miss Sarah Jones. Sarah's the daughter of Curtis and Vicki Jones. She attended Connell and Deal Elementary Schools from grades 1 through 5. Her family then moved to Fairview until her return to Erie for her junior year at East High School. Sarah comes from a large family. She is the youngest of 14 children. In high school, Sarah accepted the University of Pennsylvania, or was accepted, beg your pardon, at the University of Pennsylvania, and plans to major in either psychology or sociology, and then go on to get her master's degree in counseling. She wants to go into counseling because she enjoys listening and helping people with issues in their life. Sarah would like to stay in Erie after graduating from college because all of her family is here, and she would like to give back to the community that she grew up in. Sarah hopes to obtain a job at a community agency where she will be able to help at-risk teenagers. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We look forward to working with you. That would be very nice. You have anything to say, Sarah?
I would just like to say,
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to be the school representative. It really is an honor, and I just want to say thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I'd like to announce that the board was in executive session. I don't have the specific,
5:26 to 5:57.
okay, thank you. And that was today?
Tonight.
Of course. All righty. At this point, we'll have the hearing of citizens. Persons desiring to speak for 5 minutes must submit their request in writing to the Secretary's office at least 1 week prior to the board meeting. All others may speak 3 minutes. Our 5-minute speakers this evening are Mr. William McDonald of Erie, speaking to the topic of the Erie School District business. Mr. McDonald. Good evening, Mr. McDonald.
Good evening, board. It's good to be down here again. We've been having some problems across the country. We got a lot of people of color coming up dead by people that's supposed to be protecting us. I have to tell you this. You're not safe until I'm safe. I don't understand it. We're gonna have to do something about that. We're gonna have to do something about that. I don't think when the police come on the scene that they should come shooting, or they should be grabbing people's, choking them to death. That don't even make sense to me. And I know it don't make sense to you. We're all God's children. We just have different pigmentations on our skin. But we're still all His. He made us. I don't know nobody else made us but Him. I want to speak a little bit about those nonprofit organizations. I was looking in the paper the other day. Some of those CEOs make more money than the president. Nonprofits supposed to be helping people. not trying to get rich themselves, but look like they're getting rich themselves. $700,000 a year. That don't make sense to me. We're buying them luxury. That's what we're doing. That money, I always, if I'm around where they got one of them kettles, I'm putting money in. And I don't mind doing that, because the Bible speaks of we are our brother's keeper. I have to think about that sometime and see if we're brothers and sisters. That's too bad. We're supposed to love each other. But you can't love nobody that's got their foot in your back there. How can you love somebody that's treating you like that? I try to be a Christian. I try hard. But I'm going to tell you, when you kick me, that's wrong. Don't kick me. If I break the law, take me to jail. I'm not going to get justice down there anyway, but take me anyway, because that's how it's supposed to be set up. I just don't know. I just don't know. I ask God to give me wisdom, because he's the only one that can do it. There are other things I wanted to talk to you about, but I had the shingles. My retention span is not as good as it used to be. But I do want to say this to you, and I want y'all to remember this. When I come down here, I'm not disrespectful. I'm telling you what's on my mind. I don't appreciate nobody trying to tell me what I can't talk about. There's a freedom of speech. If you watch TV, there's some language come across that TV that kind of tear your ears up. I seen the times that they would censor them if they talk like that. But I want you to remember, I'm always respectful when I go before anybody. And let me tell you this, respect demands respect. I'm respecting you, you better respect me. Don't tell me what I can't say. I'm not going to be disorderly, but I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. If you're doing something I don't like, I'm going to tell you about it. And if you don't like it, that's you. If the shoe fit, you wear it. They tell me I talk loud, but I done got old now. When you get old, you lose a lot. And I thank God that he let me get as old as I am. I thank him, and you should learn to thank him and try to do better than you're doing. People's gonna say things you don't like, but you better take it. You better take it. As long as there's a freedom of speech, and we're losing freedoms every day. We're losing our freedom somewhere. That's too bad. But God will handle all things in his time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Our next speaker is Mr. Michael X. Anderson of Erie, speaking to recommendation of Black history and cultural DVDs to the district. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Before I get on the subject of the Black History Beyond February program, Thanksgiving weekend we had a youth basketball tournament at Wayne Middle School. And of course you heard nothing about it, which is a good thing. You know, my whole thing is that we're going to continue doing programs within Erie School District buildings, marching in the right direction as far as just giving our young people something to do. So we do have a Christmas tournament that we are doing, and we were very blessed to have Edison Elementary, coached by Principal Kevin Harper, and lost the championship. Hopefully here in Christmas, maybe they'll bring the gold home to his school. And we're also going to have within the MLK basketball showcase, we call it the Future Stars Showcase. We're going to have local teams as well as out-of-town teams coming in for that weekend. The main thing is that when we have a holiday, give the kids something to do, and utilizing, taxpayers' dollars, in a proper way, What I brought in front of you is the games we're having this year for the 6th annual MLKA's Pony International Showcase. Now, this is my baby right here. I mean, this is my heart right here. I pour a lot into this every year. And what I'm really excited about as far as this year's go is that we're utilizing Central Tech. I'm an old Tech man, Tech Memorial, so to utilize Central Tech as a facility is real special to me. Every time I go in there, I get goosebumps because my high school experience, which I hope for everyone, is one that when I think about it, I'm saying, hey, you know what? It was such a great time for me in my life. And unfortunately, for a lot of young people, I mean, the world today is very cold, it's very cruel, and we all should just strive to do the best we can to make life better for ourselves and each other. So what I will be doing is I have some 2-day passes for y'all for that weekend that you can come down and just check out what we do, And my main thing is that we're building something. We're building a new tradition, There's only so many basketball showcases across the whole country, and we got a good one here. And the great thing about it is that it's something that's open to all the local schools in District 10 to participate. There's an open invitation. Those who want to participate, they're there, and it's my job to bring them an opponent that we think will be a very good matchup. And I can tell you right now, both Erie School District schools, as far as Central Tech and East High School, they're playing the number 7 team in the country out of Canada and the number 10 team out of Canada. So they got a tall order. Now, McDowell, they're playing the number 1 team out of Canada, who currently is 18-0. But the great thing about it is it's just great for Erie. Now, in the last 30 days, I've accepted a challenge of reviewing material that I thought would be good for the young people in here to be a starting point. My thing about Black History Month, it should be a starting point to learn more about your history and culture, springboard you so that you have a cultural integrity, a cultural identity. And I tell people this, if we're not trying to focus people in that direction, street culture today, which is it's just a problem that affects everybody. Now, my thing is this. I was out of town this past weekend. I was in Ocean City, Maryland. Boy, Ocean City, Maryland is nice, boy. If you ever get a chance, boy, go to Ocean City, Maryland. Wow, it's real nice. But when I get back in town, I hear the news that, a young lady who's a friend of mine, her son was killed, and my heart really goes out to her and her family. And then I said to myself, where's the uproar? Where's the uproar by the Black community towards itself as far as the wanton slaughter that's happening in our community towards each other? See, my thing is it's real easy to focus on if a policeman kills somebody Black or if somebody white kills somebody Black, and that's not really the norm. That's really like isolated incidents that's happening. But in Erie, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, LA, Miami, I don't care where you go in this country, on a regular, my people are slaughtering each other, and a lot don't even care. See, there's something wrong if you don't care when it's your own kind doing it, but you want to focus on other kinds. And I have the cultural integrity to speak the truth on that. Because all I know is that I can't lay certain burdens on you that we won't accept ourselves. So if you have time, in here I basically stated certain DVDs, what age group, high school, middle school, elementary, I think is appropriate for, or if it's appropriate for an assembly standpoint or a classroom standpoint. Take care and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And what you're doing is commendable.
Dates for the tournament?
Yes, Mr. Anderson, I looked at the flyer. There are no dates
Oh,
on
I'm
the...
sorry. King Holiday Weekend, 17th, 18th. It's a Saturday and Sunday. We start to advertise in the next coming weeks and things like that. We try not to advertise during Christmas because at a certain point it's all blah, blah, blah. But I'll be coming by with the information with the passes and things like that. And I think you'll enjoy it.
Please
My
do.
pleasure. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Our third speaker is Miss Julia Calipo. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, of Erie, speaking to the topic of school uniforms. Julia Calipo. Is it Calippo? No, thank you. Julia is not present. At this time, we can accept anyone who has information that they want to share, comments to the board in a 3-minute period. Is there anyone who wants to come forward and speak to the board? Anyone? Okay, moving forward, I'd like to have reports of committees and liaisons on the board. Is there anyone who has a report to give to the board? Not hearing any. Let's go to unfinished business, which there is none. New business, the school district roll call.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, please.
I move we
John?
adopt the new business, the supplemental new business, and the career vocational technical new business of the school district.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Harkins, seconded by Mrs. Shenley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes.
Ms. Shenley?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Yes.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes. Thank you. I'm having a little problem with my computer. Bear with me a second. Okay. New business supplemental.
We passed that already.
I'm sorry. Oh, supplement, oh, it was all approved. I beg your pardon. Thank you. Okay, may we have an approval of the minutes? Board?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2014 meeting as attached electronically to the agenda.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Harkins, seconded by Mrs. Shenley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? So passed. Next has to do with bills and payroll. Need a motion to accept the payment of bills?
So be it.
Motion by Mr. Petrunger, I beg your pardon, and seconded by Mr. Spiegel. All in favor? Or do we need a roll call on that? We do need a roll call. Roll
Mr.
call, please.
Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes.
Ms. Shenley?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Yes.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes. Next would be the report of Superintendent Badams. Turn this over to Mr. Badams, please.
Thank you,
Doctor.
President Cassillo. Well, welcome, everyone. And I want to recognize the large number of administrators in the audience who not only had a long, I'm sure, challenging day today, but then also had their principals meeting immediately before the board meeting and then stayed. So thanks for putting in those hours. We appreciate your attendance tonight. Over the weekend, the family of TJ Wazorek held a fundraiser, a benefit that was actually planned when TJ was still alive and battling cancer. And attending it, I was just really awed by the sheer number of people that attended that event in support of that family. And I just wanted to recognize that and just point out what a wonderful family we have here in this district. Everybody from every part of this organization, there were so many people that were there to not only pay their respects, but also help to support that family at their time of need, and it was really heartwarming. So I wanted to thank everyone for that. It's holiday season, and I cannot believe that we're already past Thanksgiving and on our way toward Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and it's been a rapid, at least from my perspective, pace that we've gone through this school year so far. And during it, many things have happened that have escaped a lot of public attention, but I just want to, again, sort of share with the board my feeling that we've really turned a corner. And I am continually impressed by the amazing work that our teachers do and all those people that support that work. We have had what I believe to be a very promising school year this year, and in reviewing the school performance profile to see the progress that's been made now that we've had a year or so of relative stability in the district, I'm really encouraged. The other thing that has me optimistic as we look forward to the new year in 2015 is we have a new administration that'll be taking over in Harrisburg. There will be challenges that will remain. We're going to have an essentially divided government, in that we'll have a governor from the Democratic Party and a legislature that's largely Republican. My hope, though, is that on the matter of public education, I think the public spoke very loud and clearly about how much they value education and how much they'd like to see it supported and not attacked. And so my hope is that as we start this new legislative year, that we'll see some movement on making common sense reforms to some of the funding. There's currently a commission that's traveling the state right now trying to tackle the inequities in public school funding. My hope is that in the new year they'll tackle finally the gross problems with the charter school funding formula and bring some sort of sense to that. And that they'll value, like some other states do, the absolutely vital role of the public schools in preparing our students not only to find jobs, but to take their role as citizens in a community. And that can't be stressed enough. And I'm very hopeful that the folks in Harrisburg and the folks in Washington, D.C. will understand that and do a better job of it and help us to be competitive with neighboring states and other countries. And finally, my wishes really are just for people to have a peaceful and prosperous new year, a happy holiday season, and I extend that same wish to all of you here who give so much of your time on the board. So thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Badims. Can I have a motion to accept the superintendent's report?
Second.
Mr. Petrunger, and seconded by Mr. Spiegel. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay? Thank you. Next, the report of the secretary.
Motion to accept it.
We have a motion to accept the report as was submitted electronically by Mr. Petrunger, second by Mr. Spiegel. Roll call? No, yes, roll call. I'm still confused on the roll call.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes.
Ms. Shenley?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Yes.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes. Next item is the award of bids. The award of bids on LabVolt hydraulics training system or approved equal.
Motion to accept.
We have a motion by Mr. Petrunger, seconded by Ms. Shenley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes.
Ms. Shenley?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Yes.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes. Okay. Next is any other board matter for discussion. Anyone on the board like Mr. Brzezinski?
Yeah, I think Coach Holland needs more than a moment of silence. He was one heck of a teacher, one heck of a coach, and one heck of a guy. And not too often do we talk about people who aren't part of our immediate school family, but I would be remiss. I've been retired almost 10 years now. When I was involved with the counseling, I was on a program called School to Career, and I had the opportunity to meet with school district folks from all around. One of the greatest ladies that I've ever met was Julie Van Valkenburg, 62 years old, going to the funeral home tonight to say goodbye to her. I walked a lot of schools, a lot of halls, but I never saw kids run up to a person the way they did to her. They loved her. And we're saying goodbye way too soon. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Brzezinski. Anyone else for the good of the order?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir, Mr. Fabrizi.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that my wife and I were able to attend the Central Tech Hall's opening the other night, and it's very impressive. I mean, it's not just the idea. I mean, it's a beautiful display for something to see, but the reality of it is that the collaboration of like 400 students took place for the design, the construction, and it's something to really see, and I would encourage all of the public to drive by, tune your radio station to the right station and listen to the music. Also, I know that the IMD right now is working very hard on Christmas programming for all of our schools so that during the holidays, parents and all of you can tune in to Channel 8 or onto our webpage and view the children singing the Christmas songs, and it's a magical time of year, so I just wanted to bring that out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Fabrizi. Anyone else have anything to bring to the board? Okay. With that, I would like to have a motion to adjourn.
So be it.
We have a motion by Mr. Petrunger, seconded by Mr. Spagel, I believe.
Brzezinski.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Brzezinski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.